Here we go. We're doing it. Are we recording? Are we recording? We're doing it. Okay. What's crack-a-lackin', you guys? I don't like that at all. I'm not gonna open the show that way. That's really bad. Hey, what's up, guys? It's a classic. We're gonna stick with it. Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Lisa. Welcome to Temperamental with me, Lisa Foyles, and girl Kevin, who also happens to be here. She's co-hosting today. She's like almost literally sitting with the microphone. It's not plugged in, but like here. Right there. Check that out. You got your own mic. Hey. So anyway. What's going on, guys? Episode 74. I have sent this show to a couple podcast networks, like to pitch it, to see if anybody wants my cool show. We'll see. I don't know, man. I was thinking about how many podcasts there are that have like a team of people, and it's just me and my cat, right? Think of the things I could accomplish if I had more people instead of a cat. Sometimes two cats, which I think actually makes it worse. Two cats are worse than one. Anyway, I'm drinking a new energy drink, which is very upsetting because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I have this. I go to a grocery store around my house, and there's a guy who works there, and I have named him Creepy Cheese Guy. CCG. Creepy cheese guy. He's just always hanging out by the cheese. He definitely works there, I think. Maybe he got one of those Vaughn's aprons custom made, and he's just like, he just likes to wander around the store. Or maybe it's a situation where, like in Office Space, where he's not receiving paychecks anymore, but they don't want to tell him that he's fired, so that they just keep working there. And he said, no salt.
I asked for Mai Tai, and they brought me a pina colada, and I said no salt for the margarita, but it had salt on it.
Okay, you set the building on fire.
I set the building on fire.
Anyway, so Creepy Cheese Guy hangs out by the cheese, and I don't like when he approaches me, but he did, and I was like, Creepy Cheese Guy. And he was like, have you seen these beverages? And I'm like, no. And he's like, they're discontinuing them, which really stinks because I really enjoy them, and I drink them all the time, and they're discontinuing them. I'm like, you don't say. And he's like, look, there's only 6 left, and then once those are gone, they're gone forever. Okay, bye. And I'm like, okay, bye, Creepy Cheese Guy. So then that gave me extreme anxiety because I'm like, what if I like this beverage and it's gone forever? I've never tasted it before, but Creepy Cheese Guy just sold me on it. He sold me on it. So I bought all 7. Like 7 left, and I bought all 7. I'm like, it's going out. It's discontinuing. I gotta have one. So I bought them, and they're delicious, and I love them. And now I'm sad because now they're gonna be discontinued forever. And that's today's problem. So anyway, I'm going to talk about Leverage today. It's a TV show I was on starring Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton. Dude, I'd never seen this show, but it was on TNT, right? It's this group of people, and they do heists. They do like Ocean 11 type kind of heist things, right? They got, the different people who do the different jobs in their little crew, and they do heists. And I've never watched the show, honestly. I've never watched it. And all I remember is that every single commercial was just like, brand new show, Leverage, starring Academy Award winning Timothy Hutton. You're going to love this brand new show starring Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton. Did we mention that the show stars Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton? And I'm like, yo, chill out.
Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton. Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton. Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton. Leverage.
We get it. I swear they'd say it like twice a commercial. And I'm like, this makes me actually want to watch it less because it feels like you're trying too hard to sell me on this. But it's a great show. And this is going to be, I'm going to crochet 2 stories together. right? So recently, a friend of mine teaches at a college, and he had a student reach out to me who was like, hey, I'm really interested in acting. Can you give me some advice? And also, like, do I need to move to LA? And what should I do to become an actor? So here we go. This is it. This is the episode of Temperamental where I'm going to tell you how to become an actor. Boom. Let's do it. So back in my day, when I first started acting, when I wanted to do on-camera acting, really the only place to do that was Los Angeles. And the only reason I was prepared to move to Los Angeles and become an actor was because I had done theater. And let me tell you, that is still what you should do. If you have any aspirations to become an actor, can I please tell you, start in theater. The theater. Start in the theater. Even if you don't like it that much, right? Theater acting is different than on-camera acting in the way of when you're on stage, you need your movements and your words to be seen and heard by the person sitting all the way in the back of the auditorium. So everything's got to be big and be like, oh no, Gary, let's put on a show. It's got to be big and bold and amazing. And you have to project and sing from your diaphragm. And it's just a whole gaudy, pageantry, But let me tell you, that's where you're going to learn all your chops. That's where you're going to gain confidence. You're going to learn all the terms, upstage and downstage and left stage and right stage, which are all relevant in on-camera acting. There is a hair in my eye. There's a hair in my eye, and there's a cat on my lap. Oh, I have so many problems right now. There's a hair in my eye, and there's a cat on my lap, and my beverage is being discontinued. I can't think of a worse day. No, don't leave. No, I didn't mean anything I said. So, anyway. Theater productions, especially community theater productions, are much more forgiving than any film set you will ever be on. So if you want to be an actor, I would say start there. Find a community theater production. If you're younger and you're in school, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. There's this thing in my eye. If you're younger, yes, got it. If you're younger, maybe your school has a theater program, the whole Glee thing. Like, be a theater kid. Try it out. Theater kids are insufferable, but they have fun and they make a lot of friends and they learn a lot. Especially if you want to be, if you want to do any kind of on-camera acting, start in theater, because every city has theater. So it doesn't matter where you live. Every city has a theater, big or small. I don't care. Start there. So I had done a lot of theater in Spokane, Washington, and then I was ready to do on-camera stuff. That's really kind of what I wanted to do. And so I'm at the time when I was 11, 12 years old, really the only place to do that and really make a career of it was Los Angeles. And so, yeah, we had to pick up everything and move to LA and try to find an agent. And I immediately enrolled in acting lessons. I learned immediately how different on-camera acting is. Like, for example, I showed up to my first, okay, Alexa, chill out. I showed up to my first acting class. It was a one-on-one lesson, wearing a bright white t-shirt and my hair totally pulled back in a ponytail. And I remember my coach was like, okay, two things. First of all, never wear white for an audition. It doesn't look good on camera. Always wear a solid color that complements your features. And also, don't have your hair pulled back. Always have your hair down, looking nice. So already I walked into my first acting lesson just like really bad, like doing everything wrong. But quickly kind of taking these one-on-one lessons with this wonderful woman named Cindy Hogan, she really put me on the right track, and she helped me figure out how different it is to act on camera than it is in theater. The thing with acting on camera is that all you have to do is think it, and the camera picks it up. Very subtle. Very, very subtle. You watch some of the greatest actors of all time. Let's take Brad Pitt, for example. I just watched Moneyball, and there was so much of this in Moneyball. Brad Pitt will have like minimal movements. Even when he's communicating with somebody else, like he'll have very minimal facial expressions. It's like all in his eyes. You can tell exactly what he's thinking just with his eyes. You know, he'll go seconds without moving a muscle. He'll just stare at the other character like this. You just stare at him. You can't do that in theater. You do that in theater, they're like, oh, she forgot her lines. Boo. You can't do that in theater. But on camera, you can be subtle and you can take advantage of these beautiful moments because you know the camera is just right up in your face. And as humans, we can just pick up on the tiniest little facial expressions and know exactly what that person is thinking and feeling. And that is the beauty of acting on camera. So yeah, my one-on-one lessons were really good as a kid, but then after a while, I got it, right? I did a handful of those, and then I started going out on auditions, and I just got better and better, and then I started booking stuff, and just the experience of that helped me to be where I am today, where I thankfully I have a career as an actor and a host. But that was when you had to live in LA to have an acting career. That is no longer the case. So this is great news for all of you who have ever had any interest in being an actor and you don't live in LA. As long as you live close to a major city, drivable distance to a major city. If you're in the tundra of Alaska, I can't help you, okay? I can't help you. All you can do is hope that there's like a Coca-Cola commercial that needs some polar bears and penguins and like maybe one human extra, and then maybe you can book that role. But probably not, okay? There's probably some kind of like penguin union that's like you can only use penguins in Coca-Cola commercials. I don't know. I'm not going to go off about the union. But anyway, here's the deal. If you want to act and you live near a major city, driving distance, even cheap flight distance, you can be an actor in this day and age. Because there are local acting markets all over the world. Every big company needs commercials. They need actors. And more often than not, they want local actors. They would rather have a mediocre local actor than an incredible LA actor. Because the local actor is way cheaper for them than the LA actor. So that's tough, right? If you're if you think you're this amazing actor, but you live in LA and then you can't book a commercial in Missouri because you're not local. I'm just saying you can take advantage of being a local actor. There are projects that come through Vegas that I'm only allowed to audition for because I'm a local here, which tells you there are local acting markets everywhere. And sort of the beginning of this happening, not to mention you can do on-camera auditions now, like Zoom auditions. You can do a self-tape where you get the sides, you can read the part on camera and then send it to the casting director, and they kind of go through the first 2 rounds like that before bringing you into the office to read in front of the director. So you have these self-tapes, you have Zoom auditions. We've just come a long way with technology, which is incredible because LA sucks. LA is the worst place. LA blows, dude. LA is the worst. Don't move to LA. Don't move to LA. So expensive. It's so expensive. And everybody is so two-faced. And everybody wants to backstab you. And you go to any party and like you can just tell anybody coming up to you at a party, their first thought is like, am I going to get anything from this conversation? Is this conversation going to help me in any way? And like if they figure out in the first 30 seconds that it's not, then you can just tell they've like tuned out and they go somewhere else. It's horrible. And I know that because I lived there for many, many years. So you don't have to move to LA. You don't have to. Please don't. It's too expensive. So many actors and people in production that I know are actually moving away from LA. That ain't the hub anymore. It's not the hub. Movies don't even really film there anymore because it's too expensive. I think it's like, I think it's Tom Hanks who recently has been trying to campaign for movies to come back to LA and film in LA. Because they don't anymore. It's too expensive. LA is so high on their own farts that they have put so many like taxes and regulations in place for filming in LA that it's like impossible for any kind of low budget movie to film there. So that's why they're filming in places like Georgia and Canada and actually Croatia lately. Vancouver, just all these places. I said Canada already, Vancouver, whatever. You get what I'm saying. So at the beginning, when all of this was happening, I was living in LA, and then all that finished, and I decided to move back to Portland, Oregon. But I still wanted to act. I still loved acting so much that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to get a local agent. I'm going to try to get a Portland, Oregon agent to see if any productions come through Portland, then I can still audition and still be part of local commercials and local productions, because I just love it so much that I have to keep doing it. I have to. And I signed with probably the biggest talent agent in Portland. It wasn't that hard. I had a great resume. I had just come off of all that and Malcolm in the Middle and, all these great productions I was a part of. And so I was signed pretty quickly, which was nice. But, not a whole lot was coming through town. A couple commercials here and there. I booked pretty frequently, right? It was nice to be a big fish in a small pond for the first time. When you're in LA, it's an ocean. You are a guppy in an ocean. Good luck. Good luck trying to book anything when there's 800 girls who just stepped off the bus into LA who look exactly like you, who can act exactly as well as you can. It's just, there's so much more competition in LA. So it was actually really nice to move to Portland and have very few people have a similar resume, similar experience, or even a similar look to me. So it was nice. I booked a great commercial for Rabbids. Remember the Ubisoft game? The Raving Rabbids or whatever? I did a great commercial for them. I did a horror movie called Shiver, where I got to die for the first time. I got the garrote wire around my neck, and I got to bleed just everywhere. It was my first death scene ever. Actually, my only death scene. So much fun. But let me tell you what made me so mad about living in Portland at that time and having that agent. There was only one big television show that came through Portland that would hire local actors. That was a big deal, and that was Leverage, starring Academy Award winner
Timothy Hutton.
Have you heard about Academy Award winner
Timothy Hutton.
He stars in Leverage, which is a show starring Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton. It's on TNT, the home of Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton.
Timothy Hutton. Timothy Hutton. Timothy Hutton.
Shut up. We get it. But this was a big deal for Portland, okay? Because not a lot of actual big TV shows that were SAG, part of the union, would come through Portland, but this was a big deal. And that's great. Yay! We all get it. All the actors in Portland get a chance to audition for an LA level TV show. Hooray for us. This is great. However, I believe that, I don't know if this was the casting agents or if this was the agents, but I feel that people were preying on inexperienced actors during this time. And this made me so mad. This made me so mad. I want to say it was casting, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, and I'm not going to call out any names, but I will tell you that they would send out these emails to the actors in town and say, hey, Leverage is coming into town again. They're going to start casting for their new season. If you want to be prepared to win a role, to land a role, to land a role in TNT's Leverage starring Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton, then you need to sign up for this special Leverage edition acting course that only costs $250 a person. I swear it was between $200 and $300 a person just for an acting worship. Oh my gosh, can I try again? Just for an acting workshop to learn how to audition for TNT's Leverage starring Academy Award winning Timothy Hutton. I'm sorry. What? You're telling your actors that if they just pay you $300, you'll coach them good enough that they'll land a role on Leverage? That's not how it works at all. Leverage doesn't have any specific type of acting that's different than any other show. This ain't Shakespeare, dog. Right? This is just regular acting. You would use the same style of acting to audition for a Progressive commercial that you would to audition for Leverage, starring Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton. So why were they preying on these actors? Why were they taking advantage of actors who already don't ever make money and pay so much money just for the chance to audition for something that they probably won't get? Being an actor is not cheap. You have to pay for a headshot photo shoot, which is usually around $500 or more. And in that photo shoot, usually the photographer likes a certain makeup artist. So then you got to pay the makeup artist about $200 to do your makeup for that. If you really want to do a good job, then you get a stylist. That's another like $100 on top of that, because usually you can't dress yourself. And that's just to get your headshots. Then you got to sign up for all of these acting websites like Actors Access and casting networks. And there's like 3 or 4 of them. IMDb. These are all a monthly cost or a yearly cost, depending on which plan you sign up for. So already, and then you got to have a reel, right? So then like, if you don't know how to edit a reel together, you got to pay somebody to edit your reel together. There's just so much money that goes into preparing to be an actor. So then, and again, acting lessons are great. I'm not dissing acting lessons or workshops. That's great. You should do that. You should work with other actors. You should learn how to have chemistry with other actors. You should have the coaching and guidance of a well-established, experienced actor to know not to look like a fool on camera. A fool, I say. Definitely, I have been a fool on camera many times before, especially those early auditions when I was still in acting lessons and still trying to figure out how to do it. Like, I have some very vivid memories of just embarrassing auditions. So you don't want to do that. But on top of all of that, to then take advantage of the actors in a local market who already are not booking anything because there's not a lot coming through town, and ask them to pay $300 for a workshop to learn how to audition for Leverage so that when Leverage comes through town, you can land a role on a big time TV show. Oh, shut up. It sickened me. Made me so sad. I'm like, what are you doing? And I remember my agent pushed it on me for sure. They're like, hey, you need to pay $300 to go to this acting workshop to learn how to audition for Leverage. And I said, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. And I was so mad that, in fact, I didn't even prepare for my audition. That's how mad I was. This is like the most punk rock acting thing I've ever done. Yes, Leverage came through town. And lo and behold, I got an audition for an episode. And my agent was pushing me to take the $300 workshop. And I was like, absolutely not doing that. But everybody else in town, everybody else was doing it. So not only did I not do the workshop and made sure casting knew that I wasn't doing their workshop, I didn't even prepare for the audition. And you're talking to somebody who over-prepares. I often over-prepare. I want to be completely memorized. I will have said my lines into the mirror 200 times before I step in the room because I want to be so prepared. I went the opposite. I said casting, well, not casting because I didn't like casting, but the casting films the actors and then takes those tapes and gives them to the director and the producers. Those are the people I care about. I care about the people actually making Leverage on TNT starring Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton. Those are the people I care about. I don't care about casting. Casting? The guy's trying to take advantage of all these other actors sitting in this waiting room with me? All these other actors sitting in this waiting room paid $300 a pop for casting to tell them how to go into this room right now and audition for TNT's Leverage, starring Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton. I'm going to do the opposite. I think that when they take those tapes and they send them to the producer and director, they're going to all get these over-rehearsed actors. And I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go in. I'm going to have barely read through the lines once or twice and just wing it and just be super casual and super likable and totally laid back. And I kind of knew that casting probably didn't want me to get that role because I didn't pay them for it. But let me tell you, it's one of the fastest roles I've ever booked in my life. And it felt really good. It was like the next morning. I don't even think I did a callback, honestly. I think I auditioned for it. Usually for big shows like that, there's a callback. But I don't think I did a callback for this one. I think I went in, I winged it, And then the next morning they're like, you got the job on Leverage. And I'm like, yes! The one girl in your office that didn't pay you $300 casting, the one girl, she's the one who got it. You. Stop taking advantage of actors. Don't do it. It's bullshit. I still see that sometimes, right? It's so sad because these days auditions are just very few and far between. I've heard that from a lot of different actors, not just me, not just Vegas. But man, they sure offer a lot of, acting class specials and, keep up your chops and pay for this and, reduced photo shoot rates, $400, whatever. Just like all of these little workshops and opportunities for actors to pay money to people to prepare for an audition that might come someday. Stop. We want auditions. We don't want workshops and discount photo shoots. We don't want that. So this is where I'm crocheting two stories together. It felt really good to book that role when I didn't pay them for it. It felt really good. It helped that the role was like right in my wheelhouse. Like it really helped. It was a very character actor comedy part. I played this like pharmaceutical rep, like training people how to talk to people about drugs and different prescriptions and whatever. Like, and she was supposed to be bubbly and like a former cheerleader and former prom queen and just like basically like Heather from Together Forever from all that. Blonde, bimbo, like bubbly, optimistic and excited and blah, blah, blah.
Hi. Oh, hi. Welcome to Bioplex Training Day. I'm Trina, and you are?
Lori Sprang. All right, let's see. Lori, welcome. Well, it looks like you're the last to arrive. Let's go meet the other ladies. Come on, don't be shy. Come on.
It was a great part, and I had a lot of lines, and I felt really good about it, and I booked it on the spot. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. And I went to my first day, actually my only day of shooting, and I show up on set, and I see that they've cut my part in half. I had 2 scenes, and now I only had 1. And I was like, oh, man. I didn't find out literally till I got into my dressing room that day in Portland. And I was like, hey, when I auditioned, I did 2 scenes. And I guess looking at the script today, we're only doing 1. And they're like, yeah, they cut the other scene. So we're just doing the 1. I was like, all right, that's fine. It was like 2 lines as opposed to like 15. It stunk. But hey, I still... it was still a gig. I still got paid. I was still going to guest star on TNT's Leverage, starring Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton. And it was all good. And I got to film in my hometown where I already lived. I didn't have to fly to LA or go anywhere else. And everybody on set was super nice. I remember Christian Cole, especially from that show, like made a point to thank all of the extras and guest stars at the end of the day. Just like, thank you so much for being on our show. Really appreciate it. Just the environment was great. It was nice to be on a Hollywood level set, after having left Hollywood and kind of missing it. And it was great. It was a great experience. And I did my part and I said my 2 lines and I nailed it and it was fun and it was great. And then I went home. And then I didn't hear anything from anyone for 3 weeks. I want to say it was about 3 weeks. And then all of a sudden, it's 9:00 at night on like a Thursday. I'm sitting at home. I'm playing video games. This was when I was doing a lot of stuff in the video game industry. I was sitting at home. And I get an email from the people at Leverage. And they're like, your call time tomorrow is 8 a.m. And I went, what? They're like, your call time tomorrow. I'm like, I heard you. And I also remember that at the time, my username for my email was Along Came Lisa, because I was really obsessed with the movie Along Came Polly. And so I was Along Came Lisa. And I just remember like the talent coordinator kept saying, Along Camel Isa at hotmail.com. I'm like, no, Along Came Lisa. Along Camel Lisa. Along Camel Isa. I'm like, oh my God. No. And then I eventually changed it because I'm like, nobody's ever going to get that right. So don't email that address because I don't have access to it anymore. So please don't. But anyway, I'm sitting there just minding my own business. And then all of a sudden, Leverage is like, your call time's 8 a.m. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I think you have the wrong person. And they're like, no, you're the pharmaceutical rep girl, right? In the double blind job. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, we're shooting your other scene tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I'm like, what? No one told me that my cut scene was now back in. And this was bad, guys. I hadn't touched up my hair in those 3 weeks. I had blonde hair. The character was blonde. And it's so expensive to touch up blonde roots, like when you have like darker hair. So I would go weeks without touching up my roots and just let them get dark and black. It's just like, I didn't care. But now all of a sudden I have to be on set tomorrow at 8 a.m. and I got big, dark roots. That's not good. That doesn't look good on camera. But I'm like, I guess it is what it is. They didn't tell me that I was going back on TNT's Leverage, Academy Award winning Timothy Hutton.
Timothy Hutton.
They didn't tell me that was happening. So I go to set and they sit me in the hair and makeup chair. And the hair lady's just like, oh boy, those are some roots, huh? And I'm like, yeah, but to be fair, they didn't tell me I was coming back on the show and I would have prepared. And so she brings over the other hairstylist and she's like, what do we do about this? This is really bad. And they're like, what if we paint her hair? So I'm sitting in the hair and makeup trailer and they're searching through drawers. They're just frantically searching all these drawers. Like, what can we use for her hair? And they found kind of a yellow paint. And they're like, if we paint her roots yellow with this yellow paint and then put powder on top of the paint, that might look better than these horrible, ugly, dark roots. So they're just like, suddenly these two ladies are like frantically painting my hair. And they're throwing powder on it. And they're just like, is this good enough? It looked really bad, but when you see it on TV, it doesn't look so bad. You can still definitely tell I have dark roots. I'll play a little clip of it right now.
All right, this is Dale. He'll be playing Dr. Neeson. This is your first meeting. Go ahead, introduce yourself, and then introduce Bioplex.
Dr. Neeson.
And remember to smile.
See, I definitely still have dark roots, and it's fine. I like stuff like that. I think it adds to the character. I think it adds that, I'm this, I used to be hot. I was this former cheerleader and now, I have roots and I'm working for the pharmaceutical company. Like, I don't know. I think it kind of adds a little something. I like when actors have weird quirks and weird facial things going on. I like the girl with the weird teeth on White Lotus. I just like people not looking normal. Who wants to just stare at a normal, pretty person? I like interesting people. So, it was a panic. I rushed to set that morning. I was trying to remember what my lines were. This was weeks ago that I auditioned for this scene. And so I had completely forgotten even what my lines were or what it was, but it was a long scene. I had a lot of lines. I'm like, damn, if they would have given me like a couple days notice that I was coming back on TNT's Leverage starring Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton, then I would be memorized and ready for this, you guys. But again, I just took that approach of like, I'm just going to play cool. I'm just going to do my thing. And thankfully, my years of being on all that gave me such a talent for memorizing things quickly. We didn't have a lot of time to memorize a lot of lines on all that, and it just became a really good skill of mine that I can, honestly, even right now, you give me a paragraph, give me 5 minutes. I'll memorize it in 5 minutes, and I'll say it to camera, and I'll nail it. It's just a weird talent that I have. I'm really, really good at memorizing things. And it went really well. And I killed it, and I was funny, and they were happy with it, and everything was great. But the acting industry is very unpredictable like that. I mean, literally, I was just sitting at home. Nobody had given me any indication that I was back on that TV show. Nobody gave me a heads up. My agent didn't call. Like, nobody knew. But yet I was just sitting there, and they're like, your call time's 8 a.m. I'm like, ah! But it was great. It was... it's not a big enough role for this to be considered like the Leverage special. No, I was just a guest star on one episode of Leverage. It wasn't even like a significant episode. Like my one guest star on Malcolm in the Middle, that was a significant experience. It was like the only episode of its kind. It won the Emmy for editing. Like that was a big deal. This was just a one-off little role that I did for this show. So it's not worthy of a whole episode to be like, this is the Leverage special. No, I just think it's an interesting story. It's funny just because I never in my entire career has somebody emailed me at like 9:00 at night and be like, your call time's tomorrow morning. And I had no idea, especially for it being a really big show like that. That's funny. But yeah, you can act wherever you are. Wherever you live, there is an acting scene. It might be very small, but there is one. Every town has theater, mostly. I mean, we're not talking super tiny town, but you get what I'm saying. Most towns have theater, and most cities have an acting industry. And you can start in background work. And you can start with really small roles just to get your feet wet. If you want to be an actor, you need to do things to prepare yourself to actually be on a set. Because let me tell you, sets are fast-paced environments where nobody has patience for anything because everybody's on the clock. Everybody's got to get shit done. I don't think I've ever been on a production that wasn't running behind. Everybody's always running behind. Every scene was supposed to be filmed an hour ago. And especially if you're working with children, they can only work a certain amount of hours per day. So it's just got to go. And if you're inexperienced and you step in front of that camera and you don't know the terminology and you don't know what you're supposed to do and you're not confident, you're going to get fired on the spot. It's very cutthroat. It's not a patient industry. And the only way to prepare for that is to do little acting experiences up until you get that opportunity. And theater is the best place to start. If you want to be an actor, please go for a theater production. I don't care if you're a background actor in a theater production. Good, start there. That's where I started. And you just learn so much by watching other actors and by watching the crew and hearing the terminology. And also you'll make great friends because theater people are very weird and weird people tend to cling together and be friends forever. Yeah. So you can be an actor anywhere. You really can. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't act unless you live in LA. It's just not true. So yeah. Got a little fiery today, but yeah, it's a great episode. It's called The Double Blind Job. It's really fun. That's still the only episode of Leverage I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen the show. It looks cool. Everybody was nice on it. But yeah, never watched it. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Episode 74. We did it, folks. We did it. Thank you for joining me for another week. And yeah, maybe I'll be a part of a podcast network here in a couple weeks. That'd be fun. It'd be cool to have a little more support in finding like sponsors and, editing and stuff like that. But until then, I'm a one-woman production. I'm still doing all this myself. Hey, if you want to start a podcast, just do it yourself. You can. If you can. Anyway, bye guys. Temperamental with Lisa Foyle, starring non-Academy Award winner Lisa Foyle.